Ready for the weekend?
Totally ready, dude. I'm not ready for more snow, but
Yeah. But I think maybe talking about a little astral projection today might take away those blues.
if you- yeah, getting into the out of body experience takes a little more
Yeah.
quiet and you to do. But if you can get there, I don't know. Have you ever tried?
So astral projection for me, my first memory of it, I was at like a used bookstore or something, and I picked
Really?
up this book and it had like the guy sitting Indian style with the stars above him, and it said astral projection or something like that. And
Yeah.
I was like, what the heck is this? So I kind of read the back, but that was probably my first, you know, seeing astral projection. And it made me wonder what it is. And years later, really researching what, the deeper meaning behind dreams or your subconscious or deliberately trying to create a pathway for those things, that is what kind of led me to a deeper understanding what astral projection is. That's kind of my foot into the door for this particular topic. I mean,
Gotcha.
what about you? What was your intro to this?
I'm trying to think. I really got into it in the last 4 years or so, but I don't know where the real. I got to think about where the catalyst for that was to really make me go down that. I think I stumbled upon a video actually on YouTube,
Yeah.
to be totally honest with you. It was uh it was a video of Robert Monroe, the founder of the
Hmm.
Monroe Institute, and it was recorded in like France or something on like a news channel. He did a little interview for him,
Hmm.
and you can still find it today. It's still up there. We could probably link it later, but Um, it's really interesting because he takes you through basically the first chapters of his first book, Journeys Out of the Body, and
Hmm.
that was the book he wrote, the first of his trilogy. He wrote Journeys Out of the Body, then Far Journeys, and then Ultimate Journey. And this is all his experience. He built that Monroe Institute that's in Virginia, right? But I watched that interview with him and him just laying it out. It was mind blowing, It's just like that can't be real. Can that be real? I think it is. And it makes a lot of sense what he's talking about.
So that's the struggle with people who don't quite understand something like this. Like, is it real? That's the question.
Yeah, yeah,
Is
that's the first thing.
can
Yeah.
can something like your subconscious or your spirit leaving your body, is that possible? And what is the purpose of it? And what are the consequences of it? So the book you're referring to, what was it called?
Journeys Out of the Body. That's the first of the three books. Yeah, the
The
trilogy.
author was an MD, right?
I don't think so. I think he started off in the radio industry. He was an engineer by trade. I
Gotcha.
mean, I don't know what his certifications he had, but he was well up there. He was a smart guy, but he was the nuts and bolts kind of guy, kind of like me. I like to know how things work, and
Hmm.
he was real logical, left-brained, thinker. But yeah, he started a radio company, and that's kind of he tells in his story about how he got to that point of. But there's a story he tells about that too in the book. I can tell it if you want to hear it, but
Yeah, go for it, dude.
he tells a story about he was into gliding, right? S- um, I don't know what they call it,
Like
thermal
the
gliding with the
hmm
glider planes, right? And he'd been having these episodes when he'd go to sleep at night after well, let me back up. Okay, sorry, I got ahead of myself. In his business, they had a choice to diverge from radio or go into the new thing, cable TV, right?
Oh yeah.
And he didn't want to do that same thing, right? Because he thought, well, cable TV is just the same thing we've been doing with radio broadcasting, but with pictures. It's nothing new. I want to do something different. So then they got into, uh, they wanted to help people learn by, by when they're sleeping, right? Or something like that. And he thought, well, first we got to figure out how to put them to sleep. So he figured, I'm the president, I'll be the guinea pig, right? So they came up with this method, and it was what they call it, binaural beats now is what they call it, but it's hemisync. It's they put some frequency in the left ear and another frequency in the right ear, and the frequency difference is 4 hertz. And they found that when they do that, it melds the two hemispheres of the brain together. You get the
Hmm.
full use of your. Well, he did that for a while, and he kept doing those sleep sessions, in the testing chamber or whatever they were in. And he'd go home at night, and he'd be laying in bed, and he'd just be laying there, couldn't fall asleep, and then he'd be all of a sudden, he said his whole body would start vibrating, like it felt like he was like a mild shock, but real
Hmm.
intense. It didn't hurt, but he was freaking him out, and he would get out of it, try to make it stop, get up, whatever he had to do. And it just kept going on and on. He even went to doctor, psychiatrist. He had this guy's a CEO of a major company. He goes to a psychiatrist friend, real accredited guy.
Hmm.
And his advice was, is just see what happens. It ain't going to hurt you. I mean, your vital signs are all good. Nothing, blood pressure's fine and all this. And he's like, all right, I'll try. And so he's laying in bed one night and he was thinking about the thermal, how the next day was going to be a nice day weather-wise, right? And he's like, oh, the thermals are going to be so good for gliding, And he's just thinking that in his brain. He's thinking of soaring, right?
Yeah.
And then that vibration thing came on, right? And he's like, well, I'm not going to stop it. If it's going to kill me, let it kill me. I'm just tired of it. So he just waited and it finally stopped, right? Well, the next thing he knows, he wakes up and his shoulders bumping on something. And he's like, what's going on? And he looks to the side and he sees what he thought was a fountain coming out of the floor because he thought he fell out of his bed. Well, that fountain turned out to be a chandelier in his bedroom. And then he starts really thinking, what is going on? He looks down and he says, what am I? Well, this is a strange dream. Who's that in bed with my wife? You know? So he's like, swims down. He says, I swam down and I got down and I looked and it was me. And the shock hit him so bad that it instantly popped right back into his body. And that was weird. That was the first instance of him leaving his body.
Hmm.
So that's how it started for him. And then after that, he just started doing it and riding the vibration state out and he could separate. And then next thing you know, he's walking through, going out of his house, and it goes way deeper. But that was the very beginnings of it. And, he get, I recommend anybody listening to this goes and finds that video on YouTube because it's phenomenal. The way just to hear him tell the story, it's far better than the way I told it, but he goes into so much more detail. But that's essentially the beginnings of what he turned into the Monroe Institute, which ended up being, uh, I mean, the CIA even studied with him in the 70s, and that's where they got the gateway process.
That's right. The Gateway Process Report. Yeah. It was to have people astral project for
Yeah,
espionage.
yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. It makes me think of Stranger Things.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Montauk.
Yeah, Project
That
Montauk.
that's
You
a real
have
thing, man.
11, the girl in a deprivation tank. She's in
Yep.
some water
Yep.
and, she taps into the upside down.
Yeah.
But yeah, the point you made about like the vibrations of frequencies,
Yeah.
I think that's becoming more more brought to daylight now with that kind of stuff, that frequencies are part of everything and
Absolutely. Yeah.
especially in music. I just saw a little clip the other day from a rap artist that was told by their producers to make it use the right frequencies and whatnot to make it really angry and hateful, the rap. I mean,
Yeah.
intentionally. I mean, that's what
Yeah.
they're trying to market is to like rile people up. But the fact that,
Oh yeah, I believe it, man. There's so much to that.
yeah, there's frequencies, just like you hear a choir sing or something. The
Yeah.
frequency for that, it's just like it's calming to the soul.
Yeah.
It's interesting how it's all encompassing
Well,
with
if you think about it, everything we touch or see has a vibration to it. Even if it's solid and not moving, that we think is not moving,
yeah.
there's an electron that is
Hmm.
going around and it's at a certain frequency that's vibrating. So it's everything, not just, sound waves. It's physical things.
Yeah, it's physical things. Yeah, you're right.
I
Even
mean,
grounding. Have you heard of that?
grounding. Oh, people taking their shoes
Yeah,
off,
like walking
running around.
around outside
I
with.
think there's something to it, man.
Oh yeah, I mean,
Absolutely. You feel
why
better when
not?
you're out with your take your socks off and go out and touch the earth.
Yeah, just like right now we're experiencing a lot of vitamin D deficiency from
Yep.
the sun.
Yeah.
And don't get me
Yep.
started on
So,
chemtrails and
yeah,
all
no
that kind of
kidding.
stuff.
Right,
But
we're going a tangent.
yeah, but yeah, it's just incredible how it's all there. But
Yep.
astral projection is definitely a practice. And through my
Absolutely.
research through this, I have never intentionally practiced something like this, but I wanted to bring up dreams
Mhm.
because I know lucid dreaming is another thing. Now, for example, none of this was something that I was premeditated. This dream I'm about to tell you, it wasn't brought on. I didn't watch any movies recently or the night before, or whatever that involved the things. But basically, what happened was went to bed. I woke up. When I opened my eyes, I was in this place that looked like hell on earth. Like the ground was covered in blood. There was like bloody vines. The sky was red and cloudy, like there had been some disaster. There were normal looking people, normal clothes being dragged by these demons, if you will, these creatures that were like humanoid, but they weren't quite human. They were being put on like these posts. And meanwhile, I'm standing
Ew.
there as real as I'm sitting here right now. That's what it felt like. And I I looked at myself and I thought, where am I? And I was terrified.
Right.
And
It was real.
yeah. And I felt like I had been teleported somewhere. And one of the creatures, just to describe him, the bottom half was kind of like a goat, and the top half was like a human, like muscly guy. And he was red. His skin was
Like
reddish.
a satyr. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of looked like a satyr. But as you would imagine a crown, like it's almost like he was a prince. His crown, though, was made of flesh, like the flesh of his own head, and it created like a crown on his head.
Yikes.
And I remember looking at that, and I hid behind this log that was covered in all that same blood goop, and I could hear people screaming. And then I remember that same creature peeked over the log as I was hiding behind it, and it was like this close to my face, and I just woke up in a cold sweat. And the issue I have with
Dude.
that was many issues, but the fact that I felt like I was trapped or I was actually teleported somewhere else was the bizarre feeling I had. I didn't understand how people would just write it off as, oh, it's just a dream. To me, I was like, I feel like something happened. Like I
Right.
was put somewhere else.
It was too real.
It was too real. And the fact I could feel, I couldn't smell, but it was just, I saw the details on its face when it got that close to me. And I think dreams, your subconscious can really take a deep dive with
Oh
that.
yeah.
I believe that like if you're forcing the astral projection or forcing your subconscious, like your spirit to leave your body, dreams do the same thing, doesn't it? Like when everything happens during REM sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of
I
like,
think dreams are a form of out of body. People just don't realize they are out of body.
yes, yes. And not
Yeah.
everything.
Not every dream,
Yeah.
but
But
there's those certain dreams like the one you're talking about that really stick out and are different. Those are the ones that are real, that I think
yeah.
are real out of body experiences. You've been taken somewhere else spiritually, that
Yes.
with your spirit, your energy form, if they want to call it that, or your spirit, or there's all kinds of different terms, but your astral form. But
Yeah. And what do you think it is? Your spirit has
I think that's you. That's the essence of you. That is the real you.
yeah, I mean I felt me. It was me.
It's more real than this form we're in right now. This is
Yes.
just a physical shell,
Yeah.
kind of like the Bible says. This is just a temporary vessel
Yeah.
that we're using.
Yep.
I mean, I think that a lot of the people that like Robert Monroe, some of his experiences, he have had uh, travels out of the body and was told things that to make him realize that he's had several thousand lives that he's lived That's where the reincarnation, we come back over and over.
Mm,
Yeah. So you don't always, eventually you ascend to a higher realm and you leave, I mean, but I think that's part of the way this is just a test here. This is a place to learn and grow your soul, your spirit, to be a better person, to to not to lose entropy, to gain more energy. You,
right.
you,
Right.
you know what I mean? That's also the way Thomas Campbell, the physicist that helped Robert Monroe start,
Mm-hmm.
the guy that wrote the book My Big Toe, My Big
Hmm.
Theory of Everything. He was an astral projection guy or OBE when he was a child and didn't remember it, but when he got older and started meditating and learned to meditate and then started doing it again, he remembered all those trips as a child and speaking with advanced, you know, intelligent species of we don't know what they are, but they're far more advanced than we are, but they help you and try to teach you things. And
Like you're referring to like the astral plane or
yeah,
the
in the
astral
plane. Yeah.
realm?
Yeah. Yeah. When
Or
you're in
like
that
there's
plane.
another dimension where these beings dwell.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's lots of different worlds out there. I mean, you've
Yes.
got the physical solar system, but there's even stuff further than that that's in another dimension completely that you can still travel to. You can travel. Robert Monroe did experiments with in the physical realm. He contacted a friend across in California on the other coast at like 10 p.m. The guy was asleep and he remembers somebody grabbing his hand. It was Robert. And he could explain what they were doing that night. He could travel there and physically be there, but you could also go to your spirit. There's no limit. You can travel at the speed of light or you can travel at the speed of a car.
Yeah.
There's no limitations to what your soul can do. Your consciousness, if that's what it is. Your consciousness is that's your soul, I guess, kind
I
of
had
thing.
a buddy in high school that was way ahead of the game. And I think back now, I don't know how he heard about it, but he used to keep a dream journal because he came
Yeah,
something where you could lucid dream and you could control your dreams.
yeah, yeah.
And he said that about the touching his hand comment, he felt it. There was a
Yeah.
story I just heard the other day where a guy would astral project and he went to, I think, where he used to have like campfires with his buddies, but there were people there.
Yeah.
And he was kind of, he didn't know if they could see him or not, but he said, hey. And he said, everyone jumped up.
Yeah.
Heard him, but they didn't see him.
Can see, right. Yeah. Yeah. Same
I
thing with
mean,
Robert. Yeah.
it's the whole thing is bizarre, but I think about in literature, I'm sure you've read or seen some C.S. Lewis work. The
Oh, the
Chronicles
Alice
of
in Wonderland.
Narnia. What's that?
C.S. Lewis. No, that was
So he's got a famous series called the
Chronicles of Narnia. I've seen that. I read that book. Yeah.
So they had the Lion, the Witch, and Wardrobe, but
That's it. Yeah.
yeah, the first book of the series is called The Magician's Nephew, and I thought they're making an actual film about it, but to
Wow.
me, it's the most interesting one. It is about a boy and his this girl that's his neighbor. I think he stays with his uncle during the summer or something, but his uncle has these rings that allow them to travel to different dimensions.
Mm.
And what's weird is you kind of correlate that with this kind of thing, but they put the rings on and they can go to different dimensions. They can also bring things back. That's how
Yeah.
the antagonist, the White Witch in the Lion, the Witch and World, they actually bring her to the human world, and then they eventually drop her off in Narnia, which she corrupts very quickly. But
Mm.
it just makes me think of that stuff. That you know, these other worlds, are they real? Are they not? I don't think everything's just your imagination, because we've
Yeah.
all had those
Right.
dreams where it's like I could sit for 2 months and I couldn't come up with something like that. Like,
Right.
we didn't create like that
Yeah.
nightmare I
Yeah.
had. I didn't make that up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's coming from somewhere else,
Yes.
broadcasted, if you will, or whatever. How you pick it up.
Why do you think people have certain experiences that differ from others? Like if I have that, why do you think somebody else has a different experience?
What do you mean, like a different experience, like a different what they see different stuff?
Hmm. Yeah.
Mm, it's a great big cosmos or whatever. That there's so much. I don't have a good answer for it really, but um, that's another thing too. They did an experiment with two people, and they both went out of body in separate booths,
Hmm.
and they're both reporting to a monitor, and the goal was to astral project together, you know.
Yeah.
That was the goal of the test, to see if it was real, to see if this wasn't just subjective, you know, is this real?
Right.
And they went out, and you know, the monitors recording everything and listening to them talk. You know, they can't hear each other. They're totally isolated. But when they got done and came back to the room, he played the tape back for him, and it was like they were they were flying together, going
Yeah.
everything they said, they picked up right where the other left off.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
uncanny. It was real.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know. Seeing different things, that's, yeah, I don't know. There's no limit to where you can go. You know what I mean? I don't think there's any limits to it. It's weird. I don't know.
Do you remember the movie Inception?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's an awesome movie. Yeah. The
So
dream state.
that's right, the dream state. And I think Christopher Nolan, I mean, it's
That's a killer movie, man.
I mean, the
Yeah.
whoever wrote that, if he did, I
Yeah.
mean, it's fantastic. But I
Yeah.
remember there was a scene in there where they were showing them people that were under that, whatever they call the process.
Yeah.
But they were just laying in a room. They'd just been there for days. Like they're
Yeah.
addicted to it. I think that's where astral project, like if you manage to, for lack of better words, control that, I feel
Yeah.
like you wouldn't do anything else.
Well, yeah.
You know what I mean? If you could be
Well,
trapped.
that's the thing though. At what they've proven in the studies is that a minute, an hour in our
Yeah.
world could be like a day in the astral world.
Yeah.
So the time is not the same.
It's not. Yeah.
So, and the people that do this actually feel more rested and vibrant when they come out of that, because
That
they've
would be
been
that would
like
be nice.
it, the essential. You know, I tried it. I don't know if I told you or not, but I got to the point where I was getting really close. You know, I got to that vibration state, and what you're trying for is body asleep, mind awake, body asleep, mind awake. That's what you want. That's the mantra. So probably the easiest time to do it, honestly, if you got a house full of kids like I do, is to wait for that moment in the early morning hours when you and your wife are asleep in bed, and you wake up, but you don't move anything. Just keep your body like it's still there, dead asleep, but let your mind open up. And that's when you can try to exit or get into that vibration state. And that
Mhm.
vibration state is absolutely real, man. I've experienced it. It feels like there's just current running through your body, through your, just real intense. And it's so intense that it's scary almost. I knew what to expect from those stories that I'd heard and from seeing all the people talk about it, but until you experience it, I didn't wait for it to stop before I tried to exit my body, and I just tried to jump out. And I remember like flying through the roof of the bedroom, but I left too early and I just popped right back in. But I got to that state, I felt it, man. It was totally real. But I never got back to that since. I just kind of gave up. But I shouldn't have. It's because it's amazing.
Yeah, I've never practiced it. I know you described that really well. I know what you're talking about, like that moment when
Yeah.
you feel you can. It's almost like the
Well, it's
video.
like his lucid dreams. Like
Yeah.
what you're talking about when you can fly. We've all
Yeah.
had that, right?
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
dream where, dude, I can fly,
Yeah.
and you just take off.
Yeah.
You're soaring, man. That's what it feels like, and it's so freeing, man. It's just like, it's just this is what it's meant to be like. This is the freedom we're supposed to have, and
Yeah, you're right. It's like the shackles are off.
yeah, you broke
Like
free of the chains.
when you have a good dream and then you wake
Yeah.
up and you don't want to leave.
You don't want to be. I don't want to be
You know
here.
what? Yeah, you're just
Yeah,
like,
you're so bummed out.
I mean, your comment about, the time is not the same. Like a
Yeah,
minute there is not,
yeah,
it's not equal. Like
right,
back to the Chronicles of Narnia, when they came out of the wardrobe, they had spent a lifetime ruling
right.
as kings and queens and grew old. And they came back. They've only been gone for like 5 minutes.
Yep, exactly.
So
Yeah,
I would think though that would, if that were possible to that effect, if you could live a whole nother life
hmm
somewhere else, what kind of effect would that have on you mentally when you return?
Oh, you'd be a much more learned person, I'm sure. You'd
Yeah.
grow up a lot.
Oh
And,
yeah. If you already lived a
you've
life
lived a
somewhere
whole
else.
lifetime and you come back as a kid again, or are they still in the same form? And then,
Yeah. Yeah. It's that.
I mean, that's what essentially I think what we're here for, man. We're here to grow spiritually. But it's
Yeah.
like when you're born again, they hit the reset button. They don't let you keep all the stuff from the past, all the lessons you've learned. I think it's there subconsciously, but you got to have the will to do the right thing in the situation you're in now. I don't know,
Mm.
maybe. I don't know. It's weird, but
Yeah. It's all fascinating, and how that experiment about the two people that were trying to
it, yeah,
project together.
yeah, yeah.
It's the movie franchise Pacific Rim. You remember
I
that?
haven't seen that. I've heard of it.
Okay, so in a dystopian world,
Yeah.
there's these giant beings or giant
Yeah.
creatures
Yeah. I
called
remember they're
Jaegers, or
massive.
I'm sorry, kaiju, and
Okay.
they're to combat the growing problem of the kaiju around the world. I think it's a one world government kind of thing, but the humans create giant machines like mobile suits called Jaegers, and they're piloted by two people or three people.
Hmm.
And those people are connected basically through a Neuralink. And
Right.
they're bonded. One controls the left hemisphere of the brain, one controls the right. But basically, they're united. And there's some compatibility tests they have to go through. But it makes me think of that. Like
To
if you
find
could
their
go on,
co-pilot.
yeah, you have to
Yeah.
find your counterpart where you're. It's cool
Yeah.
how they move because they're in sync with each other, but they become one.
Yeah.
It makes me think of that. Like you have that bond, that the spiritual bond with someone else, and then you could even take it outside of the physical realms. Um, it's just fascinating. You know,
Oh yeah. It
like
kind of,
oh, go ahead.
well, when you're explaining that, it's like kind of going back to the Narnia thing, but you ever met a person that you've heard people use the term, you're an old soul.
Yeah,
Or, you just seem like you
yeah,
met those people that just
hmm,
feel like you could just talk to them for hours and like they've got a lot of wisdom in them. Even,
yeah,
they may be 30 years old, who knows, what I mean? But
hmm,
they have that aura
yep,
about them. So I
absolutely.
think it's part of what it is. I mean, I think it's really part of the whole astral projection thing. Um, well, I mean, to tie it into everyday life, uh, I worked with a guy, and he was an older gentleman who had served in the Navy. He was basically like a mechanic or electrical engineer for submarines and stuff. But he told me a story out of the blue about working in a panel one day on the ship, and his direct supervisor standing behind him talking. Right, he's in the electrical panel, doing his thing, and he said his screwdriver slipped and he landed on a live wire. And he said when that happened, he said all of a sudden I just popped out of my body and I was looking down on the scene, and it was all kind of gray, washed out, but it was me. I was looking at myself, and I saw myself with the holding on to that screwdriver, and they were just carrying on talking like they didn't. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, and I'm watching all this unfold, and they keep on talking, and I don't know how much time went by. It could have been a few seconds. It could have been 30 seconds. I don't know. But he said all of a sudden his hand slipped off that and boom, popped right back in his body, and he's there again. And you hear about that stuff all the time in operating rooms,
Yes, operating rooms. Yeah,
that out of body. And they'll tell the doctor, I heard you say this. You couldn't have. You were under anesthesia. No, I
right.
saw it. I mean, so it's definitely it's it's always been with us, man, since human since life began. I think animals have a conscience, man, consciousness.
Absolutely,
Dogs,
dude.
they
Absolutely.
have
I
they
think.
have
Oh, go ahead.
everything. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's why we can have a bond with animals.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
You look in their eyes.
like we human beings have a body, a soul, and a spirit.
Yeah.
Now we know there's differences, kind of like the Trinity of Christ. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit makes sense. There's three and three. Animals, I believe, have a a body, a physical form, and a spirit. I don't believe they have souls. They're not of the same, kind as we are, but I believe that's where they can love, they can feel, they have memories. That's where we can bond with them.
Right.
It's really fascinating. And even even side note, you want to talk about like biblically in the Garden of Eden, all these stories and movies about animals talking and have a higher intellectual
Mhm.
process. I believe those animals did exist at one point, maybe
Right.
pre-flood or something, if or in the Garden of
Anti-dilute.
Eden,
Yeah.
but they were way more intelligent. Like once again, Chronicles of Narnia, those animals
Yeah.
could speak. You know,
Yeah.
you can have a relationship with. I mean, that would be awesome. But yeah, it makes the most sense.
Yeah. There's that this, yeah, this body is controlled by what's the Japanese ghost in the machine, kind of thing.
Hmm.
There's yeah, when we physically die, there we go on. This is not ever over. It's
No,
we're immortal souls,
that's right. We're eternal. Yeah.
eternal.
Yes.
You can't destroy this consciousness. It's forever.
No.
You keep
No, you're
going.
right. You're
Either
absolutely
in another realm above this or you go for another round. You go back to, I mean, there's a bajillion stories of children, they don't know any better, but they're telling their mom, man, I remember dying in a fire. I was a I was a lady. This is a little boy talking. This is a story of the kid in Chicago that remembered his past life and picked himself out of a lineup of an old yearbook of who he was and
right. Hmm.
knew everything about it. But I think you lose that the older you get, it gets beat out of you by society and school and, to not think in those terms and catch that stuff. You kind of close your mind up to it. I mean, children are naturally gifted and psychic
They
and,
are,
and
and they're
connected. And
more, yeah, they're more susceptible and sensitive
yeah,
to
sensitive is a good
those the
word for it.
spiritual,
Yeah.
part of the thing. Those kind of experiences where people have these memories, that's been a big debate for a long time. Like I don't believe in reincarnation, but I I don't know how to like I can't give a definitive answer or explanation why. It's kind of like when you are drawn to a particular culture or something. It's like, why are you
Right.
so drawn to it? You feel
Yeah.
like you belong to it.
Yeah. I'm home.
Yeah, it's like, where does that come from? Um,
Deja vu, that kind of
Deja
stuff.
vu, like I've been here before. I've
Yeah,
met
I've been
this
here
person
before.
before.
Yeah.
Um, and like past lives, I'll say another dream because I'm just one of those people. This is all involuntary. I just had a lot of dreams, and I remember I had this before my first daughter was born, and it looked like California because we were from California, had the palm
Yeah.
trees and everything. And I remember I was opening the back door of the driver's side of the car, and there was a little girl in the car seat. And I was kind of just an autopilot. I was unbuckling her seatbelt. And like I said, this is before I had kids. And there was a woman standing on the other side, and I was unbuckling her seatbelt. And she looked at me and giggled and said, Daddy. And I shot up, and once again, it's like I'm me. And I thought, Daddy, you know what I mean? I'm not a dad. And she looked at me and she felt she was real. And then all of a sudden, I come back to reality. I wake up.
You were asleep.
Yeah,
This is a dream. Okay.
this is a dream. And then for some reason, she never said her name. She was probably 3, but her name was Mia. And it's the most bizarre thing. And now my daughter, I have 3 girls and none of them look like this girl. But the fact
That's
that
wild.
it's like, it's just weird.
Makes
It's
you think, don't it?
yeah, you're like, who was that?
Who was that? Who
And
was I?
yeah, it's just I don't have, like I said, I don't believe in reincarnation, but what is the explanation then of how we have these not memories, but like I just don't get it.
Yeah.
It's good to ask questions. It's good to wonder. And like I
Yeah.
said, that doesn't happen all the time, but it just
Right. Right.
really it's still with me today. I think where is
Yeah.
she? Who was that?
Who was that? Yeah.
Just wild stuff. But um I wanted to get into a little bit about the drug inducing
Oh,
stuff.
like DMT, stuff like that.
Yeah. ayahuasca,
Yeah.
LSD, into some of those drugs that actually push people towards this alternate state of consciousness.
Yeah.
So I think the first time I heard about DMT was to the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So he talks about
Yeah.
it all the time.
Oh, yeah. All the time.
And it's ayahuasca, right? It's Is it a root or something? Do you know?
That's the crazy thing that they figured it out. I mean, it's DMT is actually like in everything. You can, I seen a video, there's a YouTube video where a chemist from like Yale or something, an old guy teaches you how to do it in your house with everything you've got laying around. You just get some bark from a certain tree that's common and you can make it in your house.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's so super common. It's everywhere. It's in acacia trees, like the burning bush, Moses, that people
Hmm.
think that that's what he was experiencing, a DMT trip. That's a theory.
Interesting.
But
Very interesting.
I mean, I don't know where I first heard about it from, but it is a super, super potent hallucinogen that will take you places. I've never done it personally, but um, it's like we talked about. It's the brain releases it when you pass on. That chemical is released into your brain.
Yes. Yeah. And
Dimethyltryptamine. Yeah, yeah,
yes, dimethyltryptamine, and you smoke it, and
yeah.
instantly, it's like instantaneous.
Instantaneous. Yeah, if you smoke it, it's boom, it's there. Yeah.
And the experiences, from what I've read, are only a few minutes long. But
If that, if when you smoke it, it's seconds. But it
yeah,
seems a long time
yeah,
because when you're there,
yes,
it's again the time is not the same.
yes.
So yeah,
And I wanted to point out, so I think that film and TV expose a lot of what they know or what they don't want to show us. So I
yeah,
remember several years ago, I watched this interview with this girl that had a bad experience with DMT, and I am in no way promoting use of illegal drugs in any
right,
way,
right.
because I know they can have all the experience, but it could also kill you. You could have a bad something bad could happen. But she smoked it, and she went to this different place, and there were all these really tall blue creatures.
Hmm.
They knew her name, and they kept chanting, and they were trying to lure her into this place. And at
Yeah,
first she said she felt pretty good, and then it quickly turned bad, and they were pulling her. She could feel them pulling her, and they were really tall and blue and everything like that. And she came out of it. It was a very horrible spiritual experience, but it definitely brought her closer to Christ after the event. It kind of put things in perspective for her. But what's interesting about the correlation between her experience and Hollywood is when she said that, you know what that movie it made me think?
Avatar.
Avatar.
Yeah,
Now, why
obviously,
on
yeah,
earth would just some director, James Cameron, be like, let's just make a movie
right.
about blue people? You know,
Yep.
he got that from, he's either seen it or it's somewhere
Yeah.
real.
Well, yeah, definitely. Steven Spielberg, Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Yeah.
Uh, he was Dr. J. Allen Hynek
Yeah.
was he was an assistant to him in that movie to help him feed him
Yes. Yeah.
information.
Yeah.
So that's why it hits so hard and it's so mind-boggling because that's stuff they've seen, they know about.
Yes. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. They've got all the cards. I mean,
Yeah.
UF Roswell crash goes down. Those guys are on it. They take it. We never see it. It's a weather balloon. Go home, go to work.
Yep.
We'll take that.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll control the narrative. I
Right.
heard that
You
for
don't
you.
need, you can't take this. Your
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
pea brains can't understand what we're seeing because
Yes.
we're better than you, kind of thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, we're manipulated daily,
Absolutely, dude.
and all the news media is controlled. But I I I put that together immediately. I was like, Avatar.
Yeah.
That's what she's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. What you're saying is, yeah, these paranormal things and like all the stuff we're talking about right now, you see that stuff bleeds into, just like you said, Stranger Things, Montauk, the experiments they did on children in the 70s. It's exactly what they're showing us now, but they're making entertainment out of it. You know,
Mhm.
they're cashing in, but they're also giving us tidbits, so I don't know why they would, but Maybe they don't think we know, but there's definitely stuff like that that happens. I agree, 100%. And the
Do your do your kids have or did they have night terrors?
no, not that I know of. I don't know if I've had some bad dreams, but nothing like crazy. I
Mhm.
never experienced sleep paralysis or anything like that.
There's another one. Yeah, sleep paralysis, which I've
Yeah,
experienced that a lot as a kid. I've talked about it before on the
yeah.
podcast, but like the old hag, I don't know if you've heard of that.
Oh yeah, that's a common one. Yeah, I've heard
Yeah,
that.
I saw her many times as a kid, and
Oof,
just horrible, horrible. I mean, you can't move, you can't speak, you're
right,
trapped. I mean, this looks like a drug user, right, with scraggly
right.
clothes. She's so skinny, and
Ugh,
she's those disgusting, creeping towards your bed and looking at you. You can't do anything. I mean, but the
right.
fact that it's worldwide, like people report,
Yeah, exactly. The man in the hat, the shadow man in the
yes,
hat with
Shadow
the
Man,
tall.
yeah,
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 it's a common theme, and I think that's part of the whole consciousness. I mean, it must be real,
yeah.
and to me, I think it is. I mean,
It has to be, yeah,
yeah. Back in 9/11, 2001, I think I don't remember where the experiment was, but you can look it up. There was they keep track of like consciousness levels or something to do with brain waves or something. But during that time, right up to when the disaster happened, right before it, everywhere across the world, the levels rose unexplainably
hmm,
because it hadn't even happened yet. But people knew something bad was coming. They knew, but they didn't know, and just consciously.
yeah,
So I think we're all connected in some level we don't understand
but yeah.
spiritually, mentally, something.
Your intuition, your sixth sense.
Yeah, sixth
Those are
sense,
always right. If you just feel
all
something,
stuff. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
yeah. Do you think that so these creatures, let's talk about some of these creatures that people see, these beings, whether that's the blue people or like the jesters. I don't know if you
Gestures, yeah, yep, I've heard that too. Gestures, they always show up.
doppelgangers. Yeah. Do
Doppelganger.
you think they're all malevolent in nature, or do you think some are neutral?
Oh, I don't think they're all malevolent at all. I've heard people have DMT trips where I think it's just something, it's basically the way I see it is we are a fearful entities in general. People are fearful in general, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the things in life you got to battle are just your own fear, right? So I think that realm, whatever that is our first reaction is fear because it's foreign, it's strange, we don't understand it. So that's your fear response kicking in. So just because you're afraid doesn't mean it's evil. You understand? Like a
Yes.
dog.
Yeah.
You ever seen a scared dog scared of everybody? But I'm a good guy. I'm not going to
Yeah.
hurt you.
Yeah.
But it's scared to death of you
Yeah.
because it don't know. It's a wild animal or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So that's the fear response, and that I think that could explain a lot of stuff. To be honest, I think we just don't understand some of that stuff, and we automatically attach a demonic connotation to everything that we're afraid of.
Yes, I believe you. I agree with you 100% because we don't know. There's so much
But
about it of the
like,
unknown, and it's kind
yeah,
of like you see a scary looking caterpillar outside,
yeah,
right? And it
right.
looks really wicked, but a entomologist or something could say,
Oh,
"No,
love
it's
it.
not poisonous."
Oh, pick it up.
Yeah, they're not
Yep.
going to hurt you, you know. So
Yeah.
I agree with that. I do think there are probably a lot of malevolent beings, but there's
Oh,
also
there's absolutely demonic beings out there.
there's you know
It's
yeah,
yeah,
it's
light and dark, man. You can't have one without the other.
no, you can't. Right,
It's all about balance. That's the universe is about balance, man.
that's the beginning. Yeah, there's
Yep.
always been. Yep,
It's about balance. So yeah.
it's it makes me want to. I think I struggle with, and you know this, and we agree with this together. It's hard to go through the mundane day to day through life. You know,
Mhm.
we feel like we're wasting our time on these minuscule tasks. Would we want
Right.
something deeper? But
Yeah.
it makes me yearn for something more. I think that's why, at least the American public, and maybe probably everyone, but we yearn for adventure and something more.
Yeah.
We're drawn
Ex-
to
Exciting.
fantasy and
Yep.
consumerism, materialism that gets old so fast. You
Yeah.
buy a new shirt and you're like, oh yeah, and then it's done. You know, whereas you have a great experience, hiking in the Smoky Mountains. I mean, you won't forget it. It's lasting.
Yeah.
So I wish we had more of that in a safe way, but you know, that's something I definitely struggle with. You know, we're eternal beings, but we just sometimes we're just so caught up in the
And the day to day, you know, the you get drugged down into and that's where you got to just think that this stuff really doesn't matter. It's the you got to shoot for the stars, the bigger stuff, like do what you want to do, get over that fear. If there's something you want to do, just do it, you
like we're
know.
doing now.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're
But
not scared. We're just doing it. But
yeah, you got to I mean, I think that's what life's all about is conquering your fears. It's scary to do the right thing, you know.
yes, that is not said enough, dude. Kudos. Yeah, you're right. It's scary. It's hard to do the right thing. People don't
It's
talk about
hard
that.
because if you do the
Yeah,
right thing, it's looked down upon or,
yeah,
you know, that's why it's scary because it's the right thing to do, but it takes courage and you have to
yes, you're
get
right.
just so if more people were, God, what is Jesus? God told us not live in fear, to be
Mhm.
loving, and that's easier said than done, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
To not live in fear,
Yep.
you know. And I
Yeah.
think it's what you have a lot of people get caught up in bad stuff because they're just fearful in general, too scared of everything. And if they would just embrace whatever it is they're doing and just believe in themselves, they can do it
Yeah.
if you have that mindset. But
Yeah. You're right. It's amazing how much our mind, excuse me, has to do with overcoming obstacles. I saw a clip a while ago from Mr. Ballin. Are you familiar with him?
yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah,
a
he's
great
the
storyteller.
storyteller. Yeah, yeah,
And he was talking about his SEAL training.
yeah.
It was towards the end when he had to do some kind of really
Under,
intense. Yeah.
I remember that story. I think
Yeah.
I know the one you're talking about.
And he failed and failed and failed. And
Yep,
he had his literal last attempt or he's
last
out.
attempt.
And he got in that mind frame where he's like, I don't care
If I die, I'm
if I
doing
die.
this.
And
Yeah,
he did it. And he's like, it felt like nothing. He didn't panic or anything. It's like to get to that moment.
yeah,
I mean, if we could do that on the daily, but it's like,
yeah,
it's hard to
yeah.
get in that mindset.
It's hard. Yeah, you got to break that barrier
That's right.
because it's like that wall that you don't know it's on. You think there's something dangerous on the other side of that wall, but you just got to go.
Yeah.
And turns out there's nothing.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's even better.
Yeah. It's even better. And
But
side note, I think that's why special forces are so revered because they've broken past a lot of those walls.
yeah,
And that's why
yeah,
people are like, have so much respect for them because
yeah.
they have gone through mental,
It's not
physical,
the
spiritual.
it's the mental.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just this physical so much as the
Yeah.
mental side of it.
Yeah.
That's where if you're mentally tough, that's even more admirable
Mm-hmm.
than somebody who's a gym rat, or somebody just
Oh,
strong.
yeah.
It's a
Well,
totally different thing.
it's easy to go to a gym that's
Yeah,
temperature controlled.
temperature controlled and
Well,
cozy, and
yeah. You
you
got the
listen to
right
your
music.
earbuds in, and
Yeah.
yeah,
It's bougie, man.
yeah.
Yeah.
It takes quite another to do the things they do.
Yes. So,
But that's where like meditation and stuff can help though. And that's ties right into the out of body stuff. Is Have you ever meditated and got really
probably
deep into it?
Probably I have, but not in a traditional sense. I've just been, I've been in a, like probably laying in my bed and just quietly, like deep within my thoughts. If you want to call that meditating, then yes.
Yeah.
But I don't set the stage for it if that's what you're asking.
Right. I hear I mean, I've tried it, but it's tough to do. To try clearing your mind of everything and just keep those, you're supposed to sit there and breathing, a certain rhythm, and at the same time, you're supposed to keep your mind clear. Just focus on the white noise,
Yeah.
that little, when you're laying in bed and it's quiet and you hear that humming in your noise in your
Mhm.
noggin, that frequency, that pitch.
Yeah.
They say to focus on that,
Mm,
but every time I try it, it's just all this stuff. Did I did I did I remember to send that email at work? Or this thought comes in, this thought comes in. It's just constant. But I think if we, as a society, would revere people that get to that and get to that calm state, we'd be much better off if a lot more people could do that and clear their mind and just meditate and get and calm. Get push the chaos out of your mind. Let yourself be free for a little bit and just sit and be yourself. You
Mm.
know,
Yeah.
I think it's really healthy. But
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like when you finally get a good night's sleep, you feel
yeah,
better emotionally.
totally rested. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, totally rested. Is it possible? I don't know, but
yeah. Is that even a thing? I don't know if I had a good night's sleep in months.
I know. I do and I always wake up at the witching hour. No joke.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's because I'm getting older. I gotta get up and pee. But
Yeah. Dude, the other night I got up and it was like 2 on the dot. I was like, I was trying to hold it in, but you're just going to be in agony by the time you get up.
yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
was like,
You're fighting your.
yeah, you're
Oh,
like, I better go. And
it's
then,
warm in bed.
yeah. And I
That's
got up
funny.
and went, and then, of course, didn't sleep a wink. So
Once you're up.
my alarm goes up at 4:30, but I was like, I'm awake. So, um, but yeah, it's just part of it. And then that inner monologue's like, hello,
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
guess
not going to
what?
stop talking now.
I'm not stop. I'm not
Yeah.
stopping until you get up.
Yeah. So it's like a 5-year-old that's like, you
Yeah,
awake
yeah.
yet?
Hey, hey,
Yeah.
daddy, daddy. Hey, that's
But
funny, man.
I mean, it's tough being human, but
It
the
is, man.
the meditation you talked about.
Yeah.
Do you know who Dr. Stephen Greer is?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. I'm actually a member of CE, whatever,
Oh, yes.
the app.
CE5?
5. Yeah. Contact.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I saw him
That's
in a
cool.
documentary. Yeah, Unacknowledged. I'm sure you saw that one.
Yes, I've seen
So
it.
this is the
I've
first
watched
time I
it
heard of
several
him.
times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a very intelligent guy.
And yeah, very interesting. All his experiences.
Yes. And yeah, he's created this practice,
Yep.
CE5,
Yep.
communicating with UFOs
Yep.
through meditation. And I guess it's a form of astral projection.
I think it is. Honestly, it's tapping into it. The same,
Yeah.
you're on the same network,
Yeah.
essentially.
Because yeah, there are workshops they have that they do this practice and they summon UFOs. Now,
Yep.
I'm still in the point where you got to be really careful with this. I believe that everyone has to find the truth through whatever journey that is, you know.
Yeah.
And if people have to go through something like that, then by all means. But it's really interesting how, UFOs, it's like, okay, it's a spiritual thing. It's not just there's a shadow
Yes.
guy.
Yep.
Yeah, they're drawn to,
To your consciousness.
yes,
You are projecting.
yes.
Oh, that reminds me. I did that one time. After watching that, I was having a rough time. Um, man, I totally forgot about this. I yeah, it was weird. I went outside, right? It's the summertime, and like we just talked about, I'd been watching this kind of stuff. I read the book by oh UFO of God by
Heard of
Chris
it.
Bledsoe,
Hmm.
and and I was thinking about all that stuff, how he does that still. He meditates, and like he went to Skinwalker Ranch and brought in UFOs, just meditating
Yeah.
with a. And I was like, man, I want to try that because I'm having a rough go here. I need some help. So I went outside and I'm out there. This is embarrassing. But I went out and I just stared at a star, man. So the brightest, it might have been Venus, for all I know. But it was, I
Yeah.
was staring at a planet, maybe. Anyways, I go out there, man, and I'm out there in my yard in my sweatpants. And I'm just, all of a sudden, I'm looking at this thing and I'm just pleading for help, right? And I'm getting emotional, right? I don't know. I'm crying,
Mhm.
tearing up. And I was out there for 5, 10 minutes just focusing in, projecting all my worries, my feelings
Hmm.
toward something. I was reaching out, I guess you could say. So I get done with that and I calm down and I walk back inside and go in the house and my wife's already in bed. It's like 10 o'clock at night. Of course, my oldest son's still awake upstairs gaming on the PC. But
Yeah.
I go in and I go lay down and I'm not in my bed for more than probably 5 minutes, if that. And all of a sudden in my house, I have two dogs and my wife's a cat. She loves cats. So we've got like three cats in the house. All of a sudden, the dogs just start going crazy, barking like somebody is here. And it's late at night. Nobody's supposed to, it's a weekday. I get up out of bed and to see what's going on. And I get out there and the dogs are wide eyed. My son is coming down the stairs and he asked me, he said, "What were you doing down here?" I'm like, "I wasn't even down here." He's like, "I heard somebody walking around down here." And he told me that when right before the dogs started going crazy, he had a cat up there with him by his desk, computer desk, and the cat, you know how animals go wide-eyed and crazy
Yep.
and hair stands up. The cats all did that. At the same time, the dogs right before they started barking. So he said he heard something walking in the house. So I don't know what it was, but it we weren't scared. There wasn't no fear, but I don't know why the dogs, it was more of an alert bark more than I'm scared.
Yeah. They're picking up
They
something. Yeah.
picked up something. Something came into my house. I called in
Yeah.
something. I've told that story a few times, but I haven't done it really since. But it was real to me, man. Something happened because my dogs never do that, unless somebody actually comes to the house and something came to check on me. I think to see how I was doing, a spirit or
Well,
something. I
that
don't
you were
know.
trying to talk to a star. I mean, it says right here, I was looking up the verse, Psalm 147:4. This is from the NIV version. He determines the number of the stars and calls them each by name. I mean, the stars have names. The stars are like a being, an entity in
Yeah.
itself. And as we're told, there's trillions, like
Oh
it could
yeah.
be unlimited. And but the fact that they're, it's alive.
It is. Yeah. We're stardust. That's what we're made out of, essentially. Same
We're
elements.
yeah, we're I mean,
The dust.
we're part of, when God, it's
Created.
complex. You can even read
That's
Genesis,
crazy.
but
You
there's
can.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's yeah. And there's a movie called Howl's Moving Castle. Have you ever seen that?
Huh. Haven't seen it.
The premise of it is that he's a magician, but as a little boy, it kind of goes along with that nursery rhyme, like catch a falling star and put it in your pocket. He
Hmm.
catches this star and he consumes it, but he and the star kind of become one. Now, they're different entities in the film, but Howl is the magician and Calcifer is the star,
Star
but
is that
they
entity.
can't live without each other.
So
And
they have to coexist.
that's right. And it's the Calcifer, the star, is played by Billy Crystal, which his voice, which
Oh,
is really
okay.
funny. But
Man, I
he's
have to
like
check
this
that
little
out.
flame. That it's funny. They have this symbiotic relationship, but it's
They help each
touching,
other.
because
Yeah.
it's a film. But it just makes me think of that, like your story that they
Yeah.
have. You know, it just makes sense. You
Yeah.
know, especially that old like catch a falling star, put in your pocket, like catch a falling star.
Yeah.
Or like we see, like, look, it's a falling star.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes you wonder. It really does.
Yeah. I don't know what it was, but like I said, it didn't mean me any harm. There was no cupboards banging or anybody
Yeah.
trying to get me. I think something genuinely cared about me and was worried and was coming to check on me, whatever it was.
Hmm.
It's weird. But that along with everything else I've experienced, I mean, there's other things, but stories, anecdotes from other people, like I told you about the guy on the ship. Um, you've all heard the stories from, I mean, I've seen them, a surgeon, a doctor that told about her experience drowning on a kayak and seeing a light,
Hmm.
walking through a tunnel and the music and the flowers and seeing her loved ones, there's that's her spirit. That's the out of body stuff, man. Coming, I mean, it's so integral to who we are.
Hmm.
and you don't understand it because you won't understand it until you pass
So what
on,
happens? Yeah.
unless you do astral projection and can experience it now, and that's what these people do. I mean, it's amazing, really. I mean, it's a worldwide phenomenon. I mean, you got the Aborigines and stuff in
Hmm.
Australia. I think they talk about it all the time. They're witch
Yeah.
doctors and stuff.
Yeah. American Indians. I mean, yeah, there's
American
always.
Indians, yeah. I mean, it's across all cultures. It's a so it which even makes it more real to me, and just like anything else, that many people across the world it can't be just a, a random thing. It's too
No, no. And it,
universal.
oh, yeah, totally universal. And I feel that people that aren't, you know, we would just say, they're not a super spiritual person. I feel everyone will have a moment in their life where
Yeah,
they're faced with that, where it will change their mind. Like
yeah,
they have say, it could be a near death experience or something where it's
yeah,
like their world is rocked
yeah,
because they've touched the other side. And it's like,
yeah.
okay,
There's more to it than just this.
yes. Yeah. It's, I think there are huge factors involved with that can provoke those kind of things as well. Like, for example, in Harry Potter, I don't know if you've seen those films, but the characters,
Oh yeah, I've watched all those. Yeah,
do you remember what those, her name is Luna. She's one of the students.
Luna Lovegood,
Yeah.
or I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Lovegood. And she can see those dead
yeah, the
horses.
ancient dead horses. Yeah, yeah,
I can't remember the name of them, but only those who have seen death can see them. So Harry can see them, and I think there's a few that are like, I
yeah.
can't see what you're looking at.
Right, right. They're in the carriages. Yeah,
Yeah, they're like, there's no, it's
and
magic. It's like, no, they're being pulled. But
they're really there.
yes,
Yeah,
because they've experienced something traumatic and it's brought about.
their eyes have been opened,
That's right.
or something has been opened up.
Yes. So,
And it's interesting you say that because Thomas Campbell, the guy I was talking about earlier, the physicist that got into the out of body stuff big time, he talked about to where he got to that point. You Anybody listening to this, you've got to check out some of his interviews and stuff. But he talks about being able to physically see things that other people can't see, silk-like white energy connecting things, trees, everything's connected. And
mhm.
he got to where he could start seeing that stuff because, like you said, I think he, you know, had been to the other side so much that something awakened in his consciousness that he was able to perceive it. And it's a real life example of the Harry Potter story, honestly. What
Yeah.
he was
Yeah.
saying. It's the first time he experienced it, I can't remember it verbatim, but he was just walking along a street in New York or something and was looking out across the trees in Central Park and he started seeing these lacy energy webs and fractals. I don't know what you want to call it, but and he's like rubbing his eyes and looking and he's like he even made a point to look to stare at it and then to get other people's attention as they walk by to see if they had a reaction.
Yeah.
And they would just look back at him and keep walking. They didn't see what he was seeing. And it grew to the point where he could even see things in photographs, like auras on people and pick up stuff like that. So even a photograph that's captured an image is capturing something we can't see that's imprinted
Yes.
in the film. It's bizarre, man.
I,
It's a
it,
weird world, dude.
I believe it 100%. I'm sure you heard that story circulated probably last year where they did some testing for fighter pilots in Vietnam where they had lenses on their helmets and
Mhm.
they had some kind of color on their helmets that they were prototypes, except the pilots started shooting at nothing essentially from the naked eye, from all the, what do you want to call it, base radio communication. They were just shooting, like, what are you shooting at? There's things everywhere. And what the pilot's testimony were that these prototype lenses for their helmets, they could see all these kind of spiritual creatures in the sky.
No way.
Yeah. And they
So
had
they
to
put
make
a
some.
filter on there that opened up something.
Yes, and so they had to change it because they can't, but it literally was a lens to a different world. Now, is that story true? I don't know, but it's
Right.
possible. You know,
It's possible.
it's
Absolutely. Yeah, I have a hard time ruling anything out just on at first glance anymore because until you do more research and really think it through, I mean, it's just there's so much out there, man. That's just we don't understand.
No, and the more you know, the less you know.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. Absolutely.
Um, I did come across some things about astral projection and time travel. What do you
Yeah,
think about that?
I think that's definitely possible. I from what I've the stories I've heard from um, patients who've done that stuff, they've talked about going into other like worlds where not too dissimilar from our own, but I don't know. I guess it might not be time travel, but they went to these other places, and these people are pulling weird carts that are designed totally different than anything. They have wheels, but everything's just kind of off. It's not the same. It's like a different civilization in a different part of the universe that just evolved differently than we did or something. But time travel, time travel per se, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one a little bit, but
It's
I
like,
think time's not. I believe time isn't like we think it is. I think it's a big. You can bump into other time. I don't know. Time is probably malleable, just like space is. It's not static. It's not set. It's not a straight timeline like you see in your text history books.
no,
It's something that can be manipulated.
yes. And I believe I'm trying to think of the toy or something like some kind of gel where you can take a ball of gel, you could manipulate it into something, but then it returns to how it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's still going to retain its original form after some time.
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, what's the difference between, say, if time travel and astral projection is real versus, Tesla's time travel? Are you physically being taken somewhere, or your particles are actually being transported, or are you just mentally, spiritually being transported?
Well, yeah, that's a good question because time travel, like we was talking earlier, time is different when you're in that plane, wherever that is, your spirit is at, your soul, your energy, consciousness, whatever you want to call it. Um, it's time is it doesn't behave the same way as we perceive it. So is it is time what we perceive? Is that time? Or is it the the watch on my wrist? Is that it? That's the only metric, the clock on the wall. I don't think so. I think it's relevant. It can change. Yeah, I think it's definitely there's something. I mean, ghosts. People see ghosts, and it's a guy dressed in '50s clothing sitting in the back seat of your car. That's a story from my one of my family members. They had a ghost.
In the back of their car.
It was a ghost that she'd seen in her house several times, and she'd hear it at night. And she had another relative that was staying with her. He heard him too, walking up there, and she would get glimpses of him, but it would be like a misty hologram looking thing. But
Hmm.
he had like the '50s shirt with a cigarette pack, the
Yep.
greaser look,
Yep.
right? And the eyes were all sunken, looked old, tired. And that's all she would see, right? But one day she went and got in her car and she kept seeing him a little bit more, And she got in her car and backed out of the driveway and got up to the stop sign and just happened to glance in the rear view and he was sitting in the back seat and she screamed. And that's the last time she ever saw him.
Yeah.
It scared him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
You
was weird.
wonder, do do they have any control of what's going on? Do they
Do
know?
they? I don't know,
It's
man.
like the Sixth Sense,
Yeah.
right? The big
Yeah.
plot twist. Spoiler alert if you haven't
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
it.
The greatest plot twist in
Yeah,
history.
Bruce Willis is already dead.
Yeah.
Uh, I'll tell you a true story. This came from a buddy of mine who was a detective on the Kokomo Police Department, and he said this is how it was written in the report, and he was their supervisor. So there was a welfare call for an elderly neighbor. So a family lived across from this elderly woman. Uh, they were concerned they hadn't seen their neighbor in like over a week. So they sent out two officers. One went to the front of the house, one went to the back. And they looked through the house. It was in a small house where you could see through the front door to the back. And they were looking for a single older woman. And they both saw her, and she was walking around in the living room in her nightgown. And so
Yeah.
they were knocking on the door, like, "Hey, come here. Let us talk to you." And she kept walking, and they were banging, and then she just disappeared into the hallway. So they, okay, great. So they forced entry on the home, and they found her, and she was in the hallway, but she was dead.
Whoa.
And
I
when the
just got
coroner came,
chills, dude.
yeah, when the coroner came, guess what? He said she'd been dead for over a week.
Oh,
And this was broad daylight. And this is my buddy. I trust him. And he's like, "That's how it's written in the report." And I was like, "What do you think about that?" And he's like, "There's just things you just can't explain." He's
yeah.
like, "The two guys I trusted is just they both saw it."
Right.
And you think about, how is that possible? Why did they see that? They, what was that woman? Did she realize she was dead?
That,
Is there a
yeah,
time between when you
I
die?
think so.
I think so too. I think there's enough
Absolutely.
evidence to say there is
Yeah. Yeah.
like a wandering spirit,
I
idea.
hate to I hate to beat a dead horse, but I keep going back to this Robert Monroe guy because he has so many stories of his travels, right? But he essentially became the way he saw it, it was part of his training as an out of body entity in this realm that he remembered coming upon a battle between two armed forces, and this we're talking like medieval times. So there's a time travel thing.
Yeah.
But this guy, this young kid carrying a sword and shield, gets speared through the back and pinned to the ground right at the beginning of the battle. Robert goes up to him and approaches him. He's in his astral form, right? And he helps him out of his body. He remembers it clearly. And the kid gets up and he's like, "I got to help my buddies." And he looks around and he sees a sword on the ground. And he goes down to grab it, and it's just like Ghost. His hand
Yeah.
goes right through it and he can't pick it up. And, he's wondering what's going on. I think that's the same thing you were just describing. They don't know,
Yeah.
it's not clicked yet. They don't even realize they're dead yet.
Yeah.
So they're still kind of how the other people see him. I don't know. There's some mechanics in there that we don't fully understand, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know, her consciousness projected herself out there enough that they could see her in this time and place. I don't know, but I think it's yeah, that was her waiting to go to the next thing,
Mm.
whatever that is, whatever it was for
No, that's a
her
great.
consciousness. But he's got several stories like that. Then it turns out a bigger twist that guy was him in a previous
Oh,
life. But
yeah.
you take that for what it is. But I
Yeah.
don't know. This guy's got a lot of evidence, and the CIA jumped in, so they don't jump in on stuff that's fooey.
No, they don't. They have a major
That
interest in
yes, and real things,
people that
the
have
realist of
abilities.
things. Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
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 That story creeps me out, man. About that lady.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh.
it's I I'm trying to think of the things I've seen in real life. I
Hmm.
don't think I've experienced like a ghost.
Full-fledged ghost sighting.
I mean, I've seen not a ghost sighting, what we would define as a ghost. No, I
Right.
haven't, but and I've had some other crazy stuff, but yeah, it's pretty wild.
That'd be hard to handle, man. You know what I mean? To see that. That's one of those moments. I don't know how those guys took it. But after that, after you see that, her walking and you find out that she's been dead and nobody else is in that house,
Yeah. No, it was they said they
that's
cleared
gonna
it. There wasn't any forced entry like any windows or anything else.
imagine how that
Uh,
would twist your melon, dude.
oh yeah, and keep in mind he said it was broad daylight. It wasn't like
Right. Yeah, that makes it even
so they're
crazier.
looking at each other like,
Did-
did you just are we you know
Yeah.
your mind would really struggle to process what.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because you're trying to find. I think your brain is problem solving to find the
Yeah, all the
logic.
time. Yeah. Yeah. We're far and wide, the majority of human beings are left-brained, not as many are right-brained, the artistic, visionary side, we're more
Hmm.
logical. Is it real or not? We rely heavily on that side of our brain. So
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I
it's
do.
the guys that can put them both together that really move mountains. Those are the visionaries that can use the whole, put them together. Those are the people that make changes and do wonderful things, I think.
No, you're right. I mean, anybody who is remembered in history, they're exceptional and they're different.
Yeah.
They're very different than the
Yeah.
common person.
Yeah.
They think outside the box.
Right.
I mean, if you think of today, you have Elon Musk, which he's a peculiar
Yeah.
but a
Yeah.
brilliant man at that.
Yeah.
And thinks he's done and his team in just a matter of years, but he's
Yep.
definitely
Absolutely.
got some interesting things going
Nikola
on.
Tesla, there's another one.
I I still think about where do those papers go? So the story
Oh, dude.
in his safe in his apartment?
Yeah.
Or
The feds took it. The FBI came in and busted the door down and took all his notes. And I guess it was Donald Trump's uncle that
yes, he was an engineer that worked with Tesla. Yeah.
and he got the papers, a lot of them. I mean, he saw them at least, but
Yeah.
I think they got some real stuff there. Because I mean, I've read Nikola Tesla's autobiography, very good
Mhm.
book.
Yeah.
But he's had some really the guy could bench test a motor on his workbench that wasn't even there. He saw it, just visualized it, and he could see shaft wear. He could run it at different RPMs and see what it would really do, and didn't have to have an actual model. That's how he. That's how far his brain was. And another example, when he was like 70 years old, walking down the ice-filled streets of New York, he slipped on a patch of ice, and he had a witness there. He slipped, his foot went forward, and all of a sudden, in his brain, he explained this happened multiple times, like when he discovered AC current, how to make the rotating magnet motor.
Hmm.
He had a bright flash in his brain. He described it as a blinding light, and he fell to his knees when he figured out the motor, the first rendition. But same thing happened when he slipped on the ice. A flash went off in his brain, and he did a complete somersault, flipped his legs around, and landed on his feet. Didn't even fall.
Mm.
Just so something, the synapses are different in
Yes.
that brain.
Yes.
They're firing way different than the average person.
I mean, there you go again. There's another example of that evidence where you hear about people who, they have a car accident and a severe brain injury, and they were recovered
Yeah.
and could do complex mathematics.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like, how is it just
Yeah.
is all knowledge just untapped?
Right. Well, that ties back into this what we were talking about earlier. The Thomas Campbell, when he got into a meditative state, he was doing code in his physics class, and he was able. This code was back in the old days when you had punch cards, right?
Mhm.
And if you wrote a program and it didn't work, you had to go through all the punches and see where you messed up. And he said once he started meditating heavily and going through the astral projection stuff, he was able to find those errors in the code, and it would just come to him. He didn't have to do anything. It was just he would meditate, and it would something would give him the answer, and it was right every time. It's really strange. Like you said, are we tapping into something in the frequency? What is it? What is that? What is out there? What is this web that he sees? That we can't see around us. The auras people talk about that people can see that people have.
Yes. Yeah, like you can, and you may or may not be close to someone, but you can pick up like, you all right, man? Like there's something wrong. You can
Yeah.
pick up on
Yeah.
stuff, you know. Um, yeah, it's human beings, we are just complex.
Yeah. Our minds and our bodies, our souls. It's a beautiful machine. It's the most complex machine ever made. You
Yes.
know, and we don't even understand all of it yet. You know.
No, and I try. I'm not thankful enough to God for a life. Like I said, I gripe about how mundane, but we do have.
Right.
It's I try. That's why we're having these conversation. This
Yeah, man.
conversation
To
because
enjoy that stuff.
to enjoy it and remind each other that we have a purpose and there's a greater meaning and life is not as boring as we think it is.
No, it's not, man. There's beauty in everything if you just look for it and see it with the right eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but that's I try to stop and think about it sometimes because I get down and out and moody and you just when you stop and think about it, there's so much to this life. You just need to enjoy it, man. We're here for the ride and just be good to people.
Yeah.
And if you do that, there's something like they call it karma. I call it the I don't know, the great web. There's something you're pulling on strings when you do good things for people. It it
It'll come
it
back to
it,
you.
it
Yeah.
reverberates and it comes right back. It's like
Yeah.
a
Like,
wave.
I know what you mean. It's like, I don't want to use the word karma, but yeah, I mean, it seems to
Yeah,
be true. In
it seems to be true.
my almost 40 years of life, it seems to be true, that it will eventually,
Yeah,
come your way. But yeah,
you get what you give. Essentially.
yes, essentially, yeah. But is there any other things you want to hit on this topic?
Oh, I don't know.
Because I do have a closing question for you when you're ready for that.
I think everybody needs to go out and build you a little check unit, a controlled, holistic environmental chamber. You can lock yourself in and meditate and get that. Try it once. You might find it's pretty easy.
Build yourself a little sensory deprivation tank
Center tank, yeah.
so you
Get
can
in
get
there and
me
just
upside down.
yeah, calm your thoughts, man. It's not impossible. It's like
No.
anything else, takes practice and effort and work.
Yeah. And it's, what you're,
But the rewards, I think, are great if you can tap into something like this.
here you go. How do you think you can balance that practice and real life? Like if you're practicing that, certain times of the day and then you go back and forth, what do you think is going to bond them together?
Uh,
Like, what can you take away from, tapping in more of a meditative
it's a,
state, bringing that back?
I think you probably, I'm guessing you tap into a fact that it's all going to be all right. You're going to be fine,
Yeah,
right?
dude. Like, slow down, like it's gonna be all
It's going to
right.
be fine. Don't beat yourself up too bad. I can say it again. Try to be a good person. It's hard. I've, I've, I'm a, I have my moments. Ask my wife and kids, but at
We're
the
all
end of the
sinners,
day, yeah, you just accept it and just try to do better. But if you can tap into something like that in a meditative state and even get to do something like that out of body, I think it opens up your understanding of how complex and how big this thing is
Yeah.
and how just relax, man. You're gonna be all right. You're immortal.
Yeah.
Your soul.
Yeah. We certainly are. Yeah, it's no, that's good advice. I every one of us has our own journey through this life.
Yeah.
And you know, everyone is gonna find their own route to get there.
Yeah.
And within reason, I would say, if you need to tap into the astral realm to find the truth, and I encourage that. I don't encourage drug use at all. I don't think that's a good idea, but
I think it's drug use is it hinders the ability to do that
yeah,
dramatically. You
yeah,
will not go there with
yeah,
any type of foreign substance in your body.
yeah,
You
exactly.
have to be completely natural. So, yeah, don't do drugs, kids.
But yeah, I think we've reached a conclusion of this episode, the first episode of High Entropy on Milkhouse.
Right on. How long we've rambled for?
Oh, I think an hour and a half,
An
about
hour and a half. That's pretty good. It's good stuff, man.
yeah.
I got a lot of stuff to think about now.
But all right, guys, we'll talk to you later.
See ya.